Cyclocross friends, and thanks for tuning in to episode 2 of CXs and Os. We are back in Niel and looking at the top 3 riders in the men's race and how they handled the Jamaica Cross sand section. The way this track set up, the sand section proved to be the sprint before the sprint. If you could get out of the sand first on the last lap, your odds you could take that lead to the finish line were in your favor. On top of that, riding the sand clean saves energy, opens opportunities to gap the leaders, and keeps matches dry when others are burning them. Before we get into it, I want you to pick who you think among the top 3 finishers rode the sand the fastest at Niel. Toon Aerts, Laurens Sweeck, or Ailey Iserbyt. Write down your answer so you don't forget. We'll come back to this at the end. Okay, the field is about to enter the sand, so let's get to it. Before the sand section is a wide concrete slab and a 180 turn. The entrance to the sand proper has 2 lines, the express lane, which we see Laurens Sweeck taking, and the service road to our left that the Tormund Towers have picked. We have Sweeck, Aerts, and Iserbyt on the clock. Sweeck takes advantage of getting there first and clocks in a second faster than Toon and Ailey. On lap 2, Sweeck is up by 7 seconds and takes another second off his sand time. Ailey chooses the left line again and falters early. Toon, who is currently in 5th and 6 seconds behind Ailey, takes the express lane but also has to dismount. Ailey and Toon stay steady at around 9 seconds, with Laurens 2 seconds faster. Before the sand, Sweeck consistently hugs the outside barriers and hits the express lane straight on, every time. He's up 8 seconds on Ailey on lap 3, who takes the service road again and has to dismount. Toon is right there and has to kick push at the end, but he more or less matches Sweeck's time and picks up a second on Ailey. On lap 4, Sweeck looks exactly like he did a lap ago, saving matches, riding smooth. Toon is now second and takes the express lane, and Ailey abandons the service road and follows. Toon has his cleanest ride yet and matches Sweeck's speed. Iserbyt is a second slower, and it looks like the sand may be a liability for Ailey. By the time we get to lap 5, the race dynamic has changed. Sweeck's lead is gone, and Toon is tailgating him in the express lane. Ailey goes back to the service road and has better luck than Toon, who must dismount. Laurens continues his streak of clean rides and opens up a 2-second gap after Ailey also dismounts and runs. Lap 6, and Toon is now leading. He gets a clean line and puts in a huge effort to score the fastest time yet. But Ailey, playing catch-up in the express lane, also has the sand ride of his race and matches or even betters Toon's time. Sweeck remains consistent with another clean ride, albeit a second slower than the others. Speed is important, but so is consistency. On the approach to lap 7, Toon and Ailey drift inside while Sweeck maintains his preferred barrier hugging. Ailey and Toon slow a bit before entering, and Laurens doesn't. He is quickly on Toon's wheel in the express lane. Toon falters, and Laurens is able to keep his clean slate alive by not having to dismount. But he is slowed as Toon blocks the fast lane. Despite being held up at the end, Sweeck is still faster than the other 2 once again. The tension is rising, and Toon makes sure Ailey knows exactly where he is. Unfortunately, where he is and where he will be are not the same. Toon flats on the next lap, and he drops out of contention, so now we are just down to 2. We're on lap 8, and this is where things start to get interesting as Ailey puts in another scorcher of a lap, forcing Sweeck to up his game just to keep up. If Ailey is able to get one more lap like that, he may be able to take the race. But Laurens has been flawless every lap. He hasn't dismounted, and his speed is constant. But the next lap is the one that counts. Lap 9 is all about the fight for the front before the sand. The finish line is at the last pallet of concrete bags. Get there first and you win. Steady Eddie Laurens Sweeck is able to maintain that lead position, take the same outside line, hugging the barriers, and hit his mark, entering the sand flawlessly. Ailey chooses to follow but isn't able to recreate his lap 8 performance. Once he dismounts, all Laurens has to do is maintain his momentum and stay on the bike like he has 8 times before this lap. He leaves the sand after gaining a second on Iserbyt, and that gap is all Sweeck needs to take it home and win the race. So who did you choose in the beginning of this video for fastest rider in the sand? I purposefully kept the question vague because there are different ways to interpret that answer. Fastest time through once or fastest overall throughout the race. If you're handing out prizes for fastest lap through the sand, it would go to Ailey Iserbyt, who had the 2 fastest laps, lap 6 and lap 8. Tone Ayers ended up with the 3rd and 5th fastest times. If after watching this race before breaking it down, you told me that Lauren Sweck put in the 4th fastest time from the leading trio, I would not have believed you. But that's the biggest takeaway from this breakdown. It's not being fastest on a race-determining feature 1 or 2 laps. It's being consistently fastest throughout the race on that feature that puts you in the best position for victory. Sweck had no laps slower than 8.1 seconds. Ailey had 3 laps over 9 seconds, and Ertz had 5 laps over 9 seconds. And in the aggregate, Sweck saved almost 8 seconds over Ailey and 9 seconds over Tone. Lauren Sweck rode fast, if not necessarily the fastest, and did it consistently throughout the race, and that put him in the best position to win. At least that's my takeaway. What's yours? Leave a comment below and let me know. Also, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the Wide Angle Podium channel, and share with your cyclocross friends. Until next time.